Well, Razorback fans, we know that it is a bye week for the Razorbacks and the coaching search continues on. What do we know, if anything, about what this week will hold? Let's talk about in today's Locked On Razorbacks podcast.
You are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily podcast on the Arkansas Razorbacks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Razorbacks podcast. I am your host, John Nabors. I am also the host of Inside Arkansas Live, which you can catch every weekday starting at noon on Inside Arkansas and InsideArkansas.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday, as we're going to have plenty of things to talk about, mainly Razorback basketball, which we'll get into. Not only about the great, but not so great performance that they had in their very first game, leading to 1-0 with the victory over Southern, but also just something about the atmosphere, because I'm going to mention it because somebody brought it up to me and I'm going to talk about it. So get over it. Either way, though, we're in a bye week. You know, I had the podcast yesterday when a lot of you reached out. Were like, John, man, you going to be okay? Like, is everything okay? And, you know, I laugh about that because, yeah, everything's going to be fine. But you know, I try to portray the emotion that I'm having, and I feel, because I'm a Razorback fan, and I talked about, you know, growing up a Razorback fan and how things would I'd take so seriously and take so personally if Arkansas didn't win or whatever it was. You know, as you get older, you start looking at things in a different perspective. And before, it was just a matter of like a selfish thing when I was a kid, you know, just wanting to win and because you wanted the feeling. But now it's like, I come across from another direction of almost like sadness for Razorback fans and what it means to the state, what it means to the people, what it means to everybody involved. And so that's what's kind of the sad part about it. But I'm going to be fine. It's just a sad deal, man. It's just sad when you've gone as long as you have and you know what you're capable of, and nobody seems to really be taking it seriously. But I'm hopeful. You know, I'm hopeful about everything getting back on track and being able to move in the right directions. So we'll see. We'll absolutely see. However, a lot of you want to always reach out to me and want to ask, like, hey, who do I want, or who do I think it's going to be? And just it's great. As I keep saying every week when I bring it up, it's like, it's great to have that. But a lot of you kind of maybe are a little bit impatient because you're like, what's the latest? What's the latest? Well, it's not anything late. Well, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we're not hearing anything. Well, why? Well, it's just we need to hear stuff, because if we get a little bit of stuff, we need to hear more. And that's not how it works. But I do know that the University of Arkansas and the athletic department is trying to put things together and trying to move forward and trying to find a new head coach for Arkansas. You know, and there are going to be names that get thrown around a lot. And the deal with the James Franklin situation, for instance, I still feel pretty strongly about it. There have been some that have said that, no, there was no longer any interest. Some of you may feel like, oh, well, he's, you know, being rumored and connected with Virginia Tech, and we can't compete with that and whatnot. But my approach to this, in the honest look of what's going on with Arkansas and James Franklin and Virginia Tech and all that stuff, my thing is that Arkansas has a lot more than what people understand and what a lot of people know. But also, Arkansas, in my opinion, has approached this in the right way when it comes to how they're handling their negotiations, how they're handling their coaches and the ones that they're vetting and the ones they're talking to. Because as I've said before, and I'll say it again, and I'm standing by it, Arkansas is not talking with tens of 20s of coaches. Like, you're just not. And you shouldn't. Because there's a difference between talking to a coach and getting feelers out for a coach. To me, talking to a coach is like legitimate, hey, we have interest, do you, type of thing. That's a lot different than contacting an agent or contacting somebody in the mix and or dealing with the searching firm like you've set up and saying, oh, well, like we're interested in this and this and this and this and this and this, go down the list and just get all these people and all that. Like, it's not really how it goes. You have your names and you go after them. And as it stands right now, it's James Franklin is kind of the main goal and the main name. Now, James Franklin is going to get some calls. But I view it as, at least from my understanding, James Franklin is not really looking at the jobs that you would think he would be looking at. Some people are like, oh, well, LSU. I mean, is Auburn going to be in the mix? Is Florida going to be in the mix? How do you compete with that? Are they better jobs in Arkansas? How do you lose out on it? And my understanding is it's not the case. Like, Arkansas is the clubhouse leader in this situation. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Arkansas is for sure going to get James Franklin. And if they don't get James Franklin, then it's a failure of epic proportions. Because as we all know, there's a lot of things that go into these negotiations and these conversations that we will never know the ins and outs of. Not if you want a guy and he comes back with outrageous demands or outrageous attitude or outrageous whatever, I'm okay with letting him walk if it's not going to be worth all of it and it's not going to be worth the approach. But you as a fan know how important it is to win. These coaches understand how important it is to win. And the most important thing is the people involved here at Arkansas. How I feel is that they understand now in the aggressive approach that they're making that it's about winning. That's what I'm saying when I like the approach they have. It's a confident thing. And it's hard to really portray confidence, legitimate confidence, if you have one of the worst programs in the SEC wins-wise over the last decade, like Arkansas does. It's hard to preach confidence. It's hard to portray confidence. So you're wondering, well, how does that happen? How does Arkansas go to a coach like a James Franklin or any of the other names or any of the other coaches that they're legitimately going after? And how do they sell Arkansas compared to these other schools? And how are they confident in what could happen with it? Well, the confidence comes into change. You can't do what you've done over the past 10 plus years, and say, no, our system's right, our approach is right, our setup is right. It's just, the coach themselves or the head coach themselves or the staff. That's what's been the problem. No. You got to look inwardly on that. And if you're going to go out and to talk to some of these coaches, you have to be able to say, hey, here's what we got. Because they're going to ask, hey, you didn't support Sam Pittman, or hey, you guys haven't been very good. Hey, what is it about Arkansas that makes them not successful? Why has coaches struggled to win there since Bobby Petrino's the head coach? You're going to get that. Coaches are going to be concerned about that. And it's your job to not mask it, not overlook it, not say it doesn't matter, because it does. Your job is to completely and totally embrace this fact of, yeah, we have sucked. But this is why we aren't anymore. And this is why we won't anymore. This is how serious we are. You have to present it in a way of aggressively, confidently, and what I think probably more importantly, passionately. You can't be the one that is the last job that gets filled in this situation once again. People talk about getting Jimmy Sextoned. You're concerned about that. Don't be concerned about that, because that's something that everyone has to deal with. And I don't care if you're LSU, I don't care if you're Florida, I don't care what job, how great of a job you may have. You still have to deal with agents. Like, there's something different than that. I like the approach Arkansas has right now. I like the approach, and I like the aggressive. And as I've kind of said, I believe, it's my understanding that Arkansas has a fantastic plan and a fantastic recruiting pitch for a coach of the level of a James Franklin, which is why it's even being mentioned. And the whole thing with Virginia Tech, there ain't nothing to that. That's not a real thing. There's not real interest there, from what I understand. But the interest, it's there for Arkansas. I think it's appealing to James Franklin. I think it's appealing to be back in the SEC. I think it's an appealing place because whether you like it or not, or whether you want to laugh at it or not, you are the biggest game in town. You are the most important thing. People will leave you alone if you win. There's not this unreal expectation. I mean, for crying out loud, as we've talked about, if you win, he could be here for 4 or 5 years, and if he averages 8 to 9 wins a year, everyone's going to love him. Granted, at some point in time, you got to move to that next step, but overall, people are going to love him. But I think that that's the target. I think that that's the main goal right now is James Franklin. And I am thrilled about that. Because I know we'll talk basketball, and some of you may say I'm being vague, and I'm just, again, relaying what I believe and some things I know. But even if you don't get James Franklin, if you really want him, even if you don't get him, this is how my psychotic pretzel of a mind works. The fact that you're even in the conversation is worth something. The fact that there's even a connection being made is worth something. And there's not this coach of a James Franklin that says we have no chance at him. Not only have you been in the conversation, you've been in the legitimate conversation, and it's very much in play. And if you pull it off, it'll be fantastic. And also, I don't want to speak for James Franklin or anybody, but when you saw what happened with John Calipari coming to Arkansas, it's a different sport, different situation. Totally get it. But if you're a coach, even though a different sport, that has to impress you. That may have had the curiosity of some coaches, but now that type of hire gets the attention of them. Because I think a lot of coaches suddenly were like, John Calipari left for Arkansas? Why? What is it about Arkansas? What was it about the Razorbacks that made them do that? Again, curiosity, attention. And I can tell you this. Cal, he's a big help. He's a very big help in this coaching search. Speaking of Cal, let's talk about basketball because we have a 1-0 team right now for the Razorbacks, and it was really nice to see. So let's talk about that and more. Stay with us here on Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, Razorback fans, we're here to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. The NBA, college basketball, it's all back in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, however you want to do it, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score the next fourth quarter comebacks or who will score next in general. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head over to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, so moving on into the next segment of the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. So, wow, Razorback basketball, 1-0. Took care of business against Southern University. Hard to go 40-0 if you don't start 1-0. And Arkansas took care of business, 109-77. They won by 32 points. And you know what's crazy is Arkansas, in some cases, did not play really well. There's some things they did really well. But there were some players that didn't, play their A game maybe. But 3 guys that did, how about this? Darius Acuff, Trevon Brazile, and Meleek Thomas. The 2 freshmen and your two newest players and one of your oldest players, and at least here at Arkansas, you're the longest tenured player as a Razorback. Trevon Brazile, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal in 28 minutes of play, 1 turnover. Goes 8 of 14 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point line, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. That might have been the best thing about it. 8 of 10 from the free throw line. There's Acuff, 22 points for him, 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point land. He also has 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 blocked, 1 steal. And then Meleek Thomas, dude, this guy's he's incredible. 7 of 15 with 21 points, 4 of 10 from three-point land. He was able to bring in 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 turnover, 3 steals. Just onions. Incredible. Those three guys played great. DJ Wagner had a little bit of a struggle offensively, but still he was able to get plenty of assists. He had 7 assists in this one as well, 2 turnovers, 4 rebounds, went 3 of 11 from the field, but got 8 points, 2 steals. You know, you didn't have really much from the big guys. Pringle had 8 points. It was fine. 8 points, 8 rebounds, 25 minutes of play. Not too bad. Meleek Ewan, 6 points. He had 4 rebounds in this one. But anyways, it was as weird as it is, it was a really great performance, but from a team that didn't play very well. There were things about Arkansas. They gave up too many threes. That was a big part of it. 12 of 27 is what Southern went from 3. Can't do it. Went 12 of 27 from 3, but 11 of 24 from the free throw line. Good grief, man. So that wasn't very good. But either way, here's what Cal had to say after the game, and talking about just what he saw in Brazil and everything.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of good that came from this game, but there's a lot of stuff that we got to teach and let them understand you can't do this. If that was a 15-point game and we reverted back to summer basketball like we did defensively, playing on the side, not helping, not rebounding, then all of a sudden it's a 3-point game and you lose. And so when you have a chance to bury somebody, forget about the score. You just keep it going. So you don't have to worry about those things. They don't understand that right now. Second thing, we gave up 12 threes. 12. And one guy gave up 4. Are you going to figure out that maybe you got to get closer to make the guy drive? Or you're running back and the guy stops and you just keep running back like it's okay, shoot it. And it got, what are you doing? We leave people. We gambled. And every time we gambled, they threw and they made a 3. That team will win their league. They're picked again. They won it last year. They had a bunch of seniors. For a while, we were really doing some good stuff. And then we just kind of let go of the gas, let go of the rope, so to speak. But there was a lot of good. 23 turns and only 23 assists and only 9 turnovers in a fast game like that. Pretty good.
So there you have it. John Calipari just kind of breaking it down and talking about the game and what he liked. But that's what you want to see. You want to see a coach that's pissed, but also happy. He's happy with the result. He's happy with the way some guys played. He's happy with the fact that you did some good things. I think Arkansas's assist-to-turnover ratio was really good. So it's like you're happy about that. But you're also mad because of how you play defensively. And the lack of performance there that was really frustrating. So and the players knew it too, because in fact here's Trevon Brazile and Meleek Thomas talking about the things that they lacked and the mature responsibility that they took when it comes to the things that they need to get better at.
Yeah, I mean we gave up 79 points. That's not going to cut it. We know we got to be way better defensively. We know the potential we have defensively, and that definitely wasn't us out there defensively tonight. So,
and I could just talk a little bit on that as well. Like he said, 79 is unacceptable, and because the team's only going to get better and more physical. So just start putting more emphasis towards that, like we know we can.
So again, they understand it. They know what they got to do. Defensively, it was there, but I'm telling you right now, man, Darius, Acuff, and because Trevon Brazile, first off, Trevon Brazile was awesome. And I love that for Trevon. I'm one of the biggest Trevon fans there is, and I hope that He looks good, dude. I mean, he looks so good. Looks like the Trevon Brazile that we all know he could be. But when you got Darius Acuff and Meleek Thomas both going for 20-plus points, true freshmen, like hitting threes, it's just, again, it's so incredible to see players of this high caliber and having many of them like Arkansas does. I don't know what Meleek Thomas and Darius Acuff are going to do as far as the years and totals and where they're going to rank or even where they're going to get drafted in next year's NBA draft. But I'm telling you, like Meleek Thomas is one of those guys, you can get his shot wherever he wants. He can make it happen. And he can do it all. I mean, again, 21 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. True freshman. Only 1 turnover. True freshman in 29 minutes. Guy has a quick release. He can hit any shot that he wants. And then Darius Acuff has just reckless abandon. He doesn't care who's in his way, how he's going to do it. He hit a flurry of shots there towards the end, right before halftime. And he was looking good doing it. So, yeah, 8 of 13 for him. It's just fun. It's just fun to have a team that you have expectations for. It's fun to have a team that you can easily root for because of the level of high talent that they have. And you beat the crap out of a team like Southern when you didn't even play your A game, but you still beat them by over 30. Like, that's a great sign. Now, the big test, of course, is going to be Michigan State this weekend up in East Lansing. How are you going to handle that? I hope, and I know that this is going to be a wake-up call for this team of saying, hey, if you're going to get physical, Michigan State's going to bully you. They're going to be extremely physical. You have to bring the physicality with you, too. I'm excited about it. You're 1-0. Can't wait to see what this team continues to do. But one thing that, of course, I have to bring up because it is the thing I have to bring up because I get asked about it all the time is dealing with the atmosphere, Bud Walton, the crowd, all that stuff. We'll talk about that next. So stay with us here on Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, Razorback fans, I'm here to tell you about our friends over at Game Time. College football is back, and I couldn't be more excited, especially when it comes to the tailgates, when it comes to the rivalries, the energies in the stands, and the NFL, everything about it. There's just nothing like it. But let's be real. Actually, getting tickets can feel more like a battle than the game itself. Endless queues, hidden fees, prices jumping at checkout, whatever it is, ends up being a problem. But that's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. Anytime you pull up the Game Time app in just a couple of taps, you see the amazing deals. I'm talking about your favorite college football games as low as $25. And for Razorback basketball games and college basketball games, they got those going on too. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, download Game Time today. Okay, so final segment here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. So I went to the game last night, and again, it was really fun to see Razorback basketball just be back and have some really highlights, scoring a bunch of points offensively and hitting threes. Again, a lot of great stuff. But a lot of people were reaching out to me and DMing me asking about the crowd because they know I'm passionate about it. Crowd was fine. It was fine. It's weird because it was a Monday night, 6:00. It's fine. And the energy and the atmosphere is what it is. Just going to have to deal with it. And that's what's sad is I think I'm just going to have to get to the point where I have to accept it. Well, I shouldn't say accept it because I'll never accept it. Just have to deal with it, maybe. It's just, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. People buy these season tickets and they just don't use them. And I'm not blaming fans, folks. Like, I'm not blaming. If you have season tickets and you didn't go to last night's game, I'm not blaming you. Like, I think that everybody should try to find somebody to use them if they can't be used. But to me, it's still just it's going to be an athletic department problem of why it is that way. The accessibility to go to games is just not there. And I think people know that. It's not easy to park, for instance. It's not easy to get in and out. It's not easy to, go in and Be there at a certain time. It's not easy and accessible to just be set up for some sort of atmosphere. And for people who have families and whatnot, for games like that, like the big games, of course, it's easy. But for games like that, it's like you got to incentivize people to be like, why would I spend a Monday night at 6 p.m. to go and see the Razorback basketball team beat the crap out of another team? A bad team, a team that no one cares about. Why would I spend not only the money on that, but spend a pretty good amount of money on parking that's far away? Why would I wait in line to try to get out because traffic is so bad? Why would I spend this money on concession stand? Like, why would I do all this? So you got to make it accessible. And instead of accessible, it's pretty much just like, figure it out. So, again, I'm not going to be accepting of it. I don't like it. I don't want it to be this way. I want it to change. But I don't know. I'm just almost like tired of talking about it and tired of complaining about it because it just nothing ever changes. And I'll give a shout out to the students. Students showed up. I think the Trough did a really good job. They showed up early. They were there. But even then, they're kind of just like between every single marketing deal of all these sponsored segments that just take the energy and the wind out. It's just brutal. Doesn't feel like home, it's almost like somebody else is living there and you're just, it's still the same house, but it's just different. So maybe it gets better. But until people start caring about the little things, I think we're just going to be stuck with this. Either way, appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Google Play. You can also get after me on Twitter at John Nabors Show for any questions, comments, concerns you may have. We'll keep going from there. Same podcast time. Same podcast channel tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, everybody. See you then.